Hey, what's up everyone? This is going to be a vlog, actually more of a screen recording, but it's just to talk about the Mandela effect in general. I mean, sometimes you just have to talk about it, and that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, it's crazy, it's crazy how all this happens, but it happens to us. I mean, you could go buy a business or a place one moment, and then the next time you go buy it, it's completely different, and you're like, what the heck? I mean, you're just literally like, what in the world? Like, I mean, oh my goodness. You just look at something and it's totally different. And from one moment to the next, whether it's products and logos or just something in general, something like a song in like last time, the Roy Orbison song. Many people commented and said theirs is fine, their copy's fine. A couple of people stated, well, you got a bad copy. No, I mean, I listened to that exact song in that player, the same song that's been in there for years, and it stated what I remembered all that time. I went to sing with it that one time on this one day a few days ago, and it was like, what? Like, I had to rewind over and over, go back. Well, not rewind, but just, I had to go back over and over and just listen to it, and it sounded so strange. My copy is different than it's always been. And the same for all of this other stuff. We could own something for so many years, like that King of the Hill episode that I own on DVD, and I've owned it for years. I've seen the episode before. It wasn't my favorite, but I'd seen it before. And it was always sad. It had a sad, sappy ending. This episode where Miss Wakefield was in there, and I did a video on that a while back, and several people commented saying, oh my goodness, yes, Miss Wakefield totally died. There were also some very rude comments about it that I did not agree with, but yeah, moving back to the Mandela effect part, well, she's supposed to have passed away in the end in Hank's house. Now it ends all happy-like, and just, it ends very happy, and Hank's house, the carpet's a different color than I remember in the very end, and it's crazy. The ending, they all just end all happy and exchanging presents with each other. And I remember Miss Wakefield passing away. That's one Mandela effect for me for King of the Hill. There are several. There was one episode of there was an episode of South Park where a long time ago that I had downloaded to my computer back from 2009 or 2010, back in high school, and I had downloaded, it was either 9th or 10th grade, I can't remember, but it was, there was 2 episodes I downloaded, Volcano and Nambla, which was making fun of basically all the pedophiles and all of those crazy people, making fun of them, and that's what the episode was about. And so I remember Cartman said, why he said, why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? That's what I remembered. He was like, why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? That's the way I remembered it being stated. And I've got the episode. I have the episode on a digital file in the computer. I've had it for years in there. Not the highest of quality, because that's the best download you could get back then. Now he just goes, why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? He just says it like that. It doesn't sound the same at all. Why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? Cartman was trying to get friends online, more mature adult friends, and he accidentally stumbled upon a bunch of other mess, and he wound up basically making friends with these pedophiles. And then Mr. Garrison was, he was like, oh crap, and it was funny the way they did the episode, and got back at them at the end, and yeah, they kind of went about the episode in a funny way. And I remember Cartman was looking for mature friends, and that's what happened. He wound up getting into that and not knowing what he was getting into. And yeah, that's what happened. But I remembered him stating, he said, this must be the work of Stan and Kai. I hate those guys. So I remembered him stating, why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? Like that. But instead, now it's, why does the FBI keep arresting all my friends? It was totally wrong. My voice is not doing well for voice impressions right now, my throat. But yeah, the same goes for so many movie lines, movie quotes, shows, songs, everything. Many people Many people have so many various memories, and it's quite something. Many people remember Jiffy peanut butter. For me personally, I can remember Jif most of my life, but maybe two F's on it rather than one. But many people, including my parents, they seem to remember Jiffy peanut butter. At least my mama does. And the show, for example, Sex and the City, I remember when it would come on TV as a child, and I obviously didn't watch it as a child, but it definitely wasn't a children's show, but I seen it advertised all the time, and it would be like everywhere you look, you would see it advertised, and I remembered wondering when I was younger, why is it and when they say it in Sex in the City? But yet, I remembered wondering. That's why I'm not affected by that one necessarily. I always wondered why they called it Sex and the City rather than in the city. So, yeah, that's one that I'm technically not affected by, that many, many people are 100% affected by. So, for me, that one is not one that I'm affected by, but Chick-fil-A, I'm affected by it. And it's amazing how there's 3 different memories on that. There's the C, there's the K, or there's the CK, and those people are like, well, it's always been that way for them. So, for me, it was just C. For some people, it was just K. And I have a dual memory on many of these. Like, my mind remembers both. I don't know if it's a coping mechanism or what that takes place there. But the Subway logo for many people is different. For me, I can't say necessarily that one's different. For me. Now, there are many people that could pass a polygraph test on a lot of these and pass a test stating that they remember it 100%. And I believe them. I believe that's your memory. So, like the mirror, mirror on the wall and all this stuff, magic mirror, I have a dual memory on that one. Febreze. Now that I remember 2 E's, I can still see it. And I have a dual memory on Chuck E. Cheese and Chuck E. Cheese's. Volvo, I have a definite memory of how Volvo used to look, but now my mind is remembering how it is now. Kit Kat, I'm 100% certain on the dash. And people claim to have old Kit Kats, collector's edition Kit Kats, and wrappers that they've saved for a long, long time, many, many years, and when it should have had the dash, but it does not. That one right there that's been animated in the bottom left, that is how I remember Kit Kats. My mama remembers it that way. I remember it that way, 100%. There's no denying. I can attest to the fact that I remember Kit Kat with a dash in the middle. Now, seeing the bars, Kit Kat bars, and seeing the packages with no dash looks so wrong. Like Curious George. I have a dual memory on that, but he still looks wrong to me with no tail. Fruit Loops, I have the 100%. I have a memory of Fruit Loops being spelled both ways. And the Looney Tunes, both ways. I wrote it as a child with Tunes like tunes because it was kind of a play on Merry Melodies and Silly Symphonies, but that's another whole thing there. The geography. Let's not get started with the geography of this world. Well, let's actually get started, I guess. But, there's so many memories on geography that are changing by the day. They even discovered a new island a few days ago. And some will try to say, well, we discover new land every day and that things change and they update maps. But maps that I've seen, that I've had for years since my school years, they're different than my memories. And they are completely wrong for me. The first one that I was affected by, the Berenstain Bears, that's completely wrong because I can remember when it flip-flopped as a child. I was watching it with my granny on her TV in her bedroom, and I was watching the Berenstain Bears, and it would go like this. It would go, the Berenstain Bears, the Berenstain Bears, and it flip-flopped, and I would just kind of brush it off, and I never thought about it again until this whole phenomenon, and I thought, and then I read on Reddit about parallel universes and alternate realities, and I've got documents that I wrote from childhood and from my high school years about parallel universes and alternate realities, an altered reality, about how reality can be manipulated and altered. I wrote about that, and I was fascinated by that. Still am fascinated by that topic, that subject. So, I can remember when that flip-flopped, and I never thought about it again until I read that on Reddit and seen it on YouTube, and then it took off. And now it's on everything, the Mandela effect. The ME is being mentioned by celebrities, lots of famous people, YouTubers. It's being mentioned in music. It's being mentioned on the news, everywhere you look. So, and I'm just search Mandela effects, and you see a lot of information. There are millions upon millions of documents about this. So, I don't know. You can share your memories with me. Feel free to do that. Feel free to share your memories, because there are many, many MEs. But one of the most fascinating aspects of this particular phenomenon, the most perplexing part of this whole entire thing, is the flip-flops. I witnessed 100% the Depends flip-flop. No one else has mentioned this, and I mentioned it in a video. All the files are gone about it. Everything. All my documentation of it's gone. Everything is gone. I have no proof. I guess it's in another world, or erased, or some force erased it. I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't give you a definite one answer, but I will state that it happened. I was watching TV. There was a commercial that it said Depends, and I was like, whoa, whoa. And I tried to get my phone, tried to take pictures, and I did get some audio recording with a tablet. That's gone. I got a picture with the phone. That's gone. And it's as though I never took it. Not in the hard drive, the Western Digital hard drive, the micro SD cards. It's not in the computer. It's gone. The folder is gone. Everything. And everything under that folder is gone. Where he said, Tom Hanks stated, Houston, we've had a problem. And I was like, that is wrong. So I went to make a video about that. And when I went to make that video, the very next day it changed to, Houston, we have a problem. Again, changed back. But for those who weren't affected by that flip-flop, they don't know. They don't realize that, and the documentation still exists of when it flip-flopped. There's articles out there that somehow still remain in this world where it states that all this time we've been quoting it wrong, but now it's back to being right. So why do those articles exist of the memories of the flip-flop? That's another crazy thing. But also the whole thing of, I witnessed that flip-flop, I witnessed Depends flip-flop, and many people did not witness the Depends flip-flop like I have. Many people didn't witness that. I was one of the few that did. I witnessed the Tidy Cats flip-flop. It was Tidy Cat, and for a long time it was Tidy Cat, and I thought, this is so wrong. And then one day, Tidy Cats, and I was like, wait, what? Really? Wow, it's back. So I made a video on that immediately. And when Houston, we have a problem came back, I made a video about that immediately. But my other videos were gone about the old way it was. And the same goes for all of my flip-flops that I experienced. I experienced the... Now, when people point out that subway Mandela effect, I can see that now. I can remember seeing the S being like that on the top, like you see right here, rather than being the way you see on the bottom there. So I can remember that now. Oreos and Skechers. Skechers is one that I'm affected by very, very much so, as well as the Volkswagen. I mean, I can remember seeing one symbol and asking what it meant. Then I seen it, then I was like, oh, okay, well, I can see that now. But it's kind of, and I felt silly for asking the question as a child to a teacher, I believe. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can see that now. But why don't they just put a separation? Now there's always been a separation. There's just so many. There are literally so many. And the flip-flops I've experienced, I probably experienced 5 or 6 different versions of flip-flops. The Nesquik is one of them that I just experienced recently. I experienced the flip-flop of the Depends I've experienced that. I experienced the Tidy Cats flip-flop. I experienced the Ford logo is wrong. Everything is so wrong. I'll do another video. I have gone on way too long, longer than I really wanted to go on for. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Let me know the flip-flops that you've experienced. Let me know your whole take on this phenomenon. I know many of you have already spoken with me, but I felt like talking about this. I just felt like telling the various things, some of them that I'm affected by that you might not be, some of them that I'm not affected by that you all are. And all of us are affected differently. So, I mean, that's the thing. All of us are affected very differently, and many of us the same. So it's one of those perplexing things. So much love. Let me know what you think is going on, and I just needed to talk about this. I'll probably title it, Let's Talk About the Mandela Effect, or something like that. So much love and peace, and thank you for watching. Hopefully I can read your comments. I'm having to look through the comments myself and respond because YouTube is neglecting to notify me of comments, of most of the comments, a majority of them. YouTube is really lowering the bar right now, and I don't like that. But YouTube is really lowering the user experience, and so I apologize if I can't get back as quickly as I would like. So much love and peace. Bye.